starting with chapter number 9, strategies for enhancement in food production. In this chapter, till date, we have finished what is animal husbandry, why there is a need to perform the animal husbandry and the plant breeding, how we can improve the food production by animal husbandry and plant breeding. We have also discussed the dairy farm and its management, poultry farm and its management, and we have discussed one of the important topic, that is an animal breeding process. Even in animal breeding, we have also discussed with controlled breeding techniques like artificial insemination and the MOET, that is multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. We have finished this much topic. Now in the animal husbandry, it also includes the other variety of the livestock, that is fishes. It also includes the some insects like honeybee, because we are getting some product from it. So today we will discuss this, that is a beekeeping industries or the beekeeping, and the second one is fisheries. Okay, so let's first start with beekeeping, how the beekeeping is important and how it is going to be useful. Okay, so beekeeping in a scientific language, it is called as apiculture. What it is called as? Apiculture. What is an apiculture? The apiculture, it's a science. Okay, it is science which is involved in maintenance of hives of honeybee for honey. This is the main product what we are going to obtain from it. So what is an apiculture? Apiculture, that means the maintenance of the hives of honeybee for the honey. This is called as apiculture. Here in apiculture, we are growing the honeybees. Why we are growing the honeybees? To get the product from it. From this apiculture, there are the main two products of apiculture. Two main products of apiculture. Okay, so which are the main two products of an apiculture? There are two main products. The first one is, the main important one is honey. Okay, and the second one is beeswax. Both are produced by the honeybee, that is a honey and the beeswax. This honey and the beeswax has its own importance. Like, what is the importance of a honey? The honey, it has act as a food with very high nutritive value. Okay, it has very high nutritive value. It is a very nutritious food, and it can be also used as medicine. Okay, so these are the main two purposes of honey. It is a food with very high nutritive value, and it can be used as a medicine. Apart from that, what is the use of beeswax? The beeswax has used in many industries. Okay, it can be also used in preparation of cosmetics and variety of polishes. Okay, so the cosmetic and the polishes preparation has a role of beeswax. These are the main two important products what we obtain by rearing of honeybee or by maintaining the hives of honeybee. Okay, so I again repeat, which are the main two products? First is honey and the second one is beeswax. Honey, it is of food with high nutritive value, and it can also used as an indigenous medicine. Like in Ayurveda, you know that there are a lot of use of honey. The beeswax has important use in many industries. Specifically, it can also be used in preparation of cosmetics like lipstick, cream, lotion that can be prepared from this beeswax. Even it can also be used to make the different types of polishes like nail polishes and certain other kind of polishes, and the colors can be prepared by the beeswax. This is a purpose to get these products. We are rearing this beekeeping, or we are rearing the honeybee. Okay, now the main thing is that which area is suitable for hiving this bee or honeybee. There are not every area where you can grow it. Okay, no doubt it is very easy technique. It is not a labor intensive technique, or it is not a labor intensive industry. But yes, you have to keep certain thing in your mind while doing the beekeeping. Okay, so the first thing is the location where you can do this. Okay, so the location you should select, or the area you should select. Before starting the location, I am talking about the area. At which area you should select it. The area and the location you should select that. The area should be such that it should have a high nectar, or it has a high pollen grains, or there is a presence of a fruit orchards. Okay, so such kind of an area, or you can say there is a very high quantity of shrubs and plants are present. Okay, this is the area which you should select, and in this area you can keep these hives of honeybee everywhere. Like you can say that you can also keep in your lobbies, you can also keep it in the you can say that veranda, you can also keep it on a terrace, and at any place it can be kept. Okay, the main honeybee, you know that many honeybee can be reared or many honeybee can be grown, but the main important species which can be grown is Apis indica. Remember, this is the name of honeybee, which it's a Apis indica. This Apis indica, it is most grown honeybee. Okay, this is the Apis indica. Okay, student. So this is the most one. No doubt, many are rearing other types of honeybee, but it has very high value in the production of honeybee and the beeswax. Okay. Apart from that, if you see the social organization of a honeybee, then there are three types, okay, of honeybee in the hives. First is queen, second one is called as a worker, and the third one is called as a drone. Okay, this is the social organization. Okay, social organization of honeybees. Okay, so what is a social organization of honeybee? In the social organization of honeybee, there are three types of bees. Okay, in the hives of honeybee: queen, worker, and the drone. Okay, now the first question is that in one hive, how many honeybees are present? Usually, in one hive, the 40 to 50,000 honeybees are present. How many honeybees are present? Total number of honeybees in one hive is 40 to 50,000. Okay. This much number of honeybees are present. Now it contains queen, worker, and drone. From this 40 to 50,000, the queen is only one queen. It is a fertile female honeybee. Okay, it is a fertile female honeybee, and that is usually only one in the one hive of a honeybee. That means in the 40 to 50,000 honeybee, there is only a one queen, and that is fertile. Fertile means it is capable of reproduction, and that is called as queen. The remaining 30 to 40,000 honeybees, which are present in the hive, they are the workers. They are unfertile. Remember, they are unfertile female. Okay, means these female are unfertile, not capable of reproduction. They just act as a worker. Okay, so what they do? They visit the flower, they visit the plant, collect the nectar, collect the juice, and they help in the preparation of a honey and the beeswax. And the function of this queen, it increases the number of honeybee. Okay, it helps in the reproduction process because it is a fertile, but the workers are unfertile, not capable of reproduction. They just do a work. Okay, that's why we call them as a worker. They go and bring the nectar and the juices by visiting the flowers and the plants. The third variety you can find into a hive is a drone. And drone are few, okay, and they are fertile male, and they also involved in a reproduction process. They also involved into a reproduction process. So if you see the social organization of a hive of a honeybee, three variety can be found. queen, worker, drone. Queen is usually one and it is fertile female. Worker, there are 30 to 40,000 and they are unfertile female. And the drone, they are the fertile male. Okay, so this is the social organization of a honeybee. Okay, as I have told you that it is very easy. Okay, but there are few points which has to be kept in a mind while growing a bee. Okay, so which points you have to keep in a mind? It is not a labor intensive, means it doesn't require a much labor, much workforce, but yes, for effective beekeeping and the apicultures, there are certain points which you have to keep in mind. The first point, the person who is involved in the beekeeping or the apiculture should have a knowledge of, the person should have a knowledge of nature and habits of bee. Okay, that's a honeybee. Okay, the person should have a knowledge what is the nature or how the nature works or what are the habits of a honeybee. Okay. Second thing you have to keep in mind, the location for growing honeybee, because the location is important. Okay, this honeybee, they are visiting the flowers, they are visiting the shrubs for collecting the juice and the nectars. Okay, so the area should be selected such that which has large quantity of this nectars and the juices and the pollen grains. Okay, if you grow in this other area where there is less availability of it, then the production of honey gets affected. Okay, because ultimately this honey is produced by honeybee but from pollen, nectar and the juices of flowers. But if there is a no flower or less flower, obviously flower vagar to honey banse. Okay, so this is a location. The third one, the person should also have a knowledge of collection and hiving of swarms. Okay, instead of I am saying a collection, I am just changing it. You can say a catching. Okay, instead of saying collection, I say a catch. Okay, so the person should know how to catch the swarm. Swarm means a group of honeybee. Okay, and how to hive it. Okay, because these honeybees, they are flying in the groups. Okay, they are flying in the swarms. That's called as swarms. How to catch them? Because this honeybee may bite you. So how to catch them and how to hive it? Okay, or how to house it? This is called as catching and the hiving. The person should have knowledge of this. The fourth thing that has to keep in mind is the management. Management of hives in different seasons. You know that there are variety of the seasons. In different seasons, the behavior of honeybee may also gets altered. So how to manage them in different seasons, that you have to keep in mind. And the final thing is, the person should also have a knowledge of collection of honeybee and wax. The person should have a knowledge of a collection of honeybee, because we are growing this honeybee for collecting this honeybee and the wax. Okay, so this is the point that a person who is involved in apiculture or the beekeeping industry has to keep in mind. What they have to keep in mind? They should have a knowledge of nature and the habits of honeybee. The honeybee should be grown in a location. The location should be selected such that is suitable for the growth of honeybee. Third, the person should know how to catch and how to hive the swarms. Means the catching and the hiving of swarms, that is an important parameter in beekeeping industry. Next, management of hives in the different season, that is again important. And last, the person should know how to collect this honey and the beeswax from this hives. Okay, so this point have to keep in mind, otherwise it is not a labor intensive industry. This is not a new, but now the people are understanding the importance or economical value of this honey and the beeswax, because it has an important value. Okay, so they are growing, but it is not a new, it is age old cottage industry. Okay, so the question might going to be asked, which is age-old cottage industry? Then it is honeybee. Okay, or the beekeeping or the apiculture. Okay, that is considered as an age-old. Okay, you also have to remember this social organization. It is very important from examination point of view. In the book, it is not given, but most of times they are going to be asked. So you have to learn it. Okay, which is Tween, Werger and the Tron. Okay, it is very much important. Who is the father of modern apiculture? Okay, the father of modern apiculture, I am writing over here, the Huber. Okay, Huber is considered as father of modern apiculture or beekeeping industry. Okay, he has set a benchmarks in the beekeeping industries. Okay, and the location where these hives are kept, this is called as apiary. These two words you have to keep in mind. Okay, Huber is the father of modern beekeeping industry and the apiary. Okay, so this is about apiculture and the beekeeping industry. Okay, so prepare it very well. Okay, next kind of a product, next important one is fisheries. So now we are going to start with fisheries. What is the fisheries? What is the definition and the meaning of this fisheries? The fisheries, that means rearing, catching, processing and selling of fish and other aquatic organisms. Clear? This is called as a fisheries. So what the fisheries involves? The fisheries involves rearing, catching, processing, selling of fish and aquatic organisms. Sometimes you can also write the or, because the process might not involve all the steps. So you can say or may involve all the steps. So that's why rearing, catching and the processing or selling of fish and the other aquatic organism, that is called as fisheries. Okay, so the name itself suggests it's related with a fish, and that's why we are calling it as a fisheries. But it also includes the other aquatic organisms. Okay, which other aquatic organisms are going to be included in the fisheries? The fisheries that includes prawn, crab, lobster, okay, oyster, or edible oyster. These animals, these are the other aquatic organisms. Okay, they are included in it. Okay, so that includes these other aquatic organisms. Okay, so this is called as fisheries. Fisheries is not only related with fish, it also relates with fish. And this fish or the fisheries has very important value in economy. It is a very large economy in India, specifically in the areas nearer to a coastal line. Okay, many families are dependent on these fisheries. Okay, their homes are running based on the income generated by these fisheries. Okay, and this is also one of the important food product for many of the people in the world. Okay, you see that Gujarat has an advantage in the fisheries because the Gujarat has very long coastal line. Okay, 1640 kilometer long. I again repeat, 1640 kilometer long. The coastal line is with Gujarat. So the Gujarat has a lot of contribution in the fisheries. Okay, so here the main product what we are getting is a fish, and this fish are going to be mostly going to be used for a food. Okay, but the fish that can be collected either from a fresh water like pond, lake, streams, or it may be collected from the sea. Okay, that is a marine fishes. So there are two varieties of the fishes. One is called as freshwater fishes and the second one is called as marine fishes. Now I am telling you which are edible. Edible means which can be eaten. Which are the edible freshwater and marine fishes. Remember this name, they are very important. So here we are discussing the edible freshwater fishes and the marine fishes. Okay, which are edible fishes means which can be eaten. Okay, you have to remember, this is very important. Which are the edible freshwater fishes? The edible freshwater fishes are katla, rohu and common carp. These are the edible freshwater fishes. I again repeat, katla, rohu and common carp. They are the freshwater fishes. Now which are the edible marine fishes? Remember, the edible marine fishes are hilsa, sardine, mackerel, pomfret. These are edible marine fishes. Remember, these are the edible freshwater fishes, katla, rohu, common carp, whereas these are the edible marine fishes that grow in the sea, hilsa, sardine, mackerel and the pomfret. Okay, so these are the fishes. You have to remember, it has very important value in the economy. Okay, here we are able to, anyhow, if we are able to increase the production of these fishes, then obviously the food production is very high, and the food production can be increased by applying the aquaculture and the pisciculture. Okay, aquaculture means rearing of any kind of aquatic organism, and the pisciculture means a rearing of specifically of fishes. This is called as a pisciculture. Aquaculture includes fishes, whereas the pisciculture includes only fishes. Okay, aquaculture includes fishes and other aquatic organisms, but the pisciculture includes only fishes. Okay, so by application of an aquaculture and the piscicultures, we are able to increase the production of fishes, and obviously there is a mass production of fishes takes place, and that can fulfill the food requirement of the population in the world. So students, today we have discussed the two main important topics. First is beekeeping industry and the second one is fisheries. Okay, so in the animal husbandry we have discussed dairy farm and its management, poultry farm and its management. Third one is this, that is a beekeeping and the fisheries that have been discussed. So thus we can improve the food production, okay, by animal husbandry. In the next session we will learn the plant breeding techniques, how we can improve the food productions in a plant. Okay, because the majority of the people in the world, they are dependent on the plant products, okay, directly or indirectly. So that's why anyhow we have to increase the food productions in a plant. How? That we will see in the next session. Till then students, keep learning, keep watching, like and subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching.